Greg Rutherford. Is this it, mate? Is this the last one? Is this the last anniversary games? I'm going to get emotional.
I know every time anybody says it to me, I get a little bit emotional. This is the last ever anniversary games for me. I've actually not competed in that many due to injuries and whatever else, but this is going to be the most special one, I think.
We spoke a couple of years ago in a press mix zone in Holland after you won that medal at length about what you'd been through to get yourself back to that point. The hernias, the operations, the recoveries. 2 years later, here we are. Is it just taking its toll, Greg? Too much?
It has, yeah. Well, I had the hernias all sewn up and the big hole that was in my groin. That's all fixed now. They then went in and figured out what was going on in my ankle and tried to fix that. The surgeon did a fantastic job of figuring out the problem and doing his best to fix it. I'm just getting on a bit now in long jump terms. I'm an old man. I've absolutely hammered this body over the last 13 years or so of my professional career. There has to become a point where it's just a bit much, and I think that's where we're at with it, and that's fine. Like I've had to come to terms with it. Look, I think if I wouldn't have had a successful career, then maybe I'd be struggling with this decision. But look, I wake up in the morning. It probably takes about half an hour or so until I can walk down the stairs. I have to take one step at a time at the moment because it's so painful. I don't want that anymore. Like I want to be able to run around and play with my kids in the garden and have a good time, because there's hopefully a lot of life ahead of me of enjoying those moments and not just focusing on athletics.
Yeah, lots to do. Before we move on to that whole latter stages, talk about the Cuban. Because, you know, if I'm honest with you, I got an influx of emails from people who were like, Greg's called it a day because he saw that. How would you respond?
Well, I'll be totally honest, I'm gutted that he's not jumping this weekend because I've not jumped against him yet. And I always talk about, at the start of my career, I jumped in Salamanca against Ivan Pedrosa, who was my hero, and the Cuban legend, the Olympic champion from Sydney, one of the most beautiful long jumpers to ever watch, if long jump can ever be beautiful. And now Echeverria comes along, and I genuinely think he's going to be the world record holder. And I'm so excited that my event is actually going to go to the forefront. He has the opportunity to potentially become the Bolt of long jump. Now, what's that going to do? It's going to have an influx of interest into the sport and the event that I absolutely love. So from my point of view, I'm thrilled this guy's come along. But not just him, obviously, we have Luvo as well. And Luvo's been around a couple of years now, obviously. But between them, oh, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, just as a fan of my event as well, it's amazing. Look, I've never shied away from competing against anybody. You look through my career, I've turned up against everybody. I've had my period of beating everybody. My body can't do that anymore. So the likes of Luvo and Echeverria, like I'm chuffed to bits that they're doing what they're doing.
And you've had your moment in the sun. Like I mean, few will ever get to win Olympic gold in their own backyard. There's so many athletics careers. When you think about all the people who are athletes, few can say that.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and do you know what? The more I've had to think about the fact that I'm coming to my retirement, the more I think about the success that I've had, and I'm thrilled to bits of it, I'll be honest. I wouldn't change a thing. And at my best, I still believe that I could always beat anybody. It doesn't matter who was out there. Yeah, absolutely. And I always raised my game when it mattered in those big events at those times. And that's something I'll really look fondly back at. And I'm proud as I could be of what I achieved.
Listen, good luck this weekend. Last question. In 20 years' time, and let's talk about those latter stages of your life. 20 years' time, are we going to see another Rutherford bombing down the runway, propelling themselves into the pit? I asked that because I know you got a pit in your garden. I don't think it's going to retire with you. I think there's a couple other little Rutherfords who are going to be trying to make good use of that facility. Is that something you would like to see for them? I know most parents say, whatever my kids want to be, they'll be, and I'll support them. But there must be a little piece in you that would love to see them following your footsteps, quite literally.
Well, look, if anybody was going to break my records, I would love it to be obviously my own kids. But they are going to have an opportunity to do whatever they want to do. And sport is going to be part of that. They will be encouraged to do any and every sport going. If they show a level of ability in the long jump, then of course I'll support that 100%. The only issue I face with the kids and long jumping in particular is that they will always be compared. And even if they won an Olympic silver medal, sadly, the way the media works, certain parts of the media work, they will always be sort of considered not good enough. And I would never want that for my children. Speak to other athletes around the world whose parents were ex-top stars. That was the one thing they struggled with more than anything else. So I'm going to be sensitive in that way with them. But blimey, I would love them to be much better than me. I'd love them to be the new Luvo, the new me, or the new Echeverria, whatever else. It'd be incredible. But we'll see. It's a long way off. And they're already showing that they're a lot brighter than someone like me is. So they might want to become an architect or something. Who knows?
Well, listen, I'm going to say it a few times, I think, this season, but thanks for the memories. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
I think, and I'll tell you what, people like yourselves, like, I'm going to miss sort of coming through the mix zone and chatting and having a good time, because it's been a lovely journey and I've really enjoyed it, and it is the right time to retire, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy maybe mixing up with you guys. I might be saying next year I might be in the...
Hey, listen, come work with us.
Yeah,
you know, it's nothing long, so it's all good.
I'll be in, don't you worry.